What's up, everybody? This is the Classic Tycoon here, and today we're going to talk about how to make fast money in RCT Classic. And yeah, we're back in the $1 Million Mission series, and we're going to start out by probably the best way to make really good, really fast money first. I do have some other tips in here, but I think this is the most important one. It's going to take us a few minutes, but let's jump into it. So, shuttle roller coasters, such as this inverted vertical shuttle right here, are a great way to make money. Now, this one's not making any money because it was built about 11 years ago. So, let's go ahead and get rid of that, and let's make a different shuttle coaster. I'm going to go ahead and do the looping roller coaster, and we'll do a vertical shuttle of that, because that is the most accessible roller coaster of this type. Almost all the scenarios that you're going to play is going to have access to a looping roller coaster. This is going to be a very simple shuttle roller coaster. You can see right here, it goes up to like 55 feet. And let's go ahead and check out the excitement rating, because I wanted to show you guys that even with a low excitement rating here, you can make a ton of money off of a roller coaster like this. So our excitement rating is a 4.82. That's relatively low for most inverted roller coasters. I didn't have much room for this roller coaster, but we're still going to do this. So what you're going to do is you're hiking the price all the way up to about $10. Okay? And then from here, now we're just going to open the roller coaster. Doesn't look like anybody is entering the ride right now, so check the guests' thoughts. Looks like they're saying they're not going to pay this much, so just lower it a little bit until you see guests start to go into the line queue. So now guests are starting to filter in at $9.40. Not much difference between that and $10. And now let's go ahead and watch our profit rise. Keep an eye on those guest thoughts. Make sure that none of them are complaining about the price there. And you can keep this price up for quite a while with brand new roller coasters. It will go more quickly than a lower price would, but yeah, you'll be able to keep this. It'll help you at the start of your park. So our profit starts out at $1,078 per hour, but we're going to keep an eye on this because you're going to see our profit margin hike up a huge amount. Now it's jumped up to $2,400 roughly. We'll speed it up, and you'll see over time this is going to get pretty crazy. Now we're at over $3,500 per hour. Okay, and the best thing about this, just keep an eye on that profit. It's going to keep going up and up. But the best thing about this is that this roller coaster was minimal effort. You know, I put a loop in and two hills, basically, with one of the hills being the lift for the shuttle, and our profits just going up and up and up. You can see we're all the way up here at over $6,000 per hour. Now at over $8,000, almost $9,000 per hour. It's pretty crazy what you can do with these profit margins. Let's keep watching this thing. Over $11,000 per hour. If we check out what this is relative to my other best profit roller coasters in the park, it's ranked number 6 right now, and it's gonna get all the way up to number 5. And these other roller coasters, I mean, let's like look at Hell Train. Let's pull that up, and we'll compare this. So the excitement rating on the looping roller coaster 1 is a 4.82. On Hell Train, it's a 9.24. And these trains are making the same amount of profit, almost. Pretty close, okay? And that looping roller coaster costs like what, $2,000 to build. So that is the absolute best way to make fast money in RCT Classic. So the next tip that I want to start talking about is cash machines. Cash machines are not a way to make fast money per se, but they allow you to retain guests that you've already got in your park, and that's one of the hardest things to do as your park gets older and older. So these are absolutely huge for retaining guests. Like I said, the amount of guests that these cash machines have retained for me since the start of the park, if you add all of them together, is 13,963. So that's guests that are staying in your park and continuing to pay money. Otherwise, they're just going to leave and you don't make any profit off of them. Okay, so build those cash machines. They're going to help you out a ton in the long run. The next thing that we're going to talk about is restrooms. I think you guys already know I like to charge for my restrooms personally. It's not going to make you a ton of money, but restrooms are a necessity. Guests are going to use them, and if you don't charge for them, they're a big liability. Not big, okay, but they're going to lose you money, right? I've got 8 restrooms in this park. They cost about $50 per hour to run, and if they're not making any money, 50 times 8 is $400 an hour that you're losing to restrooms. So I charge 10 cents. I think you can charge up as much as 30 cents, and the guests will not mind paying that for the restrooms. So consider that. But for mine, I do charge 10 cents per guest, and that ends up being $218 profit per hour rather than losing $400 per hour. So that's some things to consider. All right, some more ways or some more things that I want to talk about as far as regarding money. This is actually one of the absolute best tips that I can give you, and that's information kiosks. Now, obviously you need an information kiosk in your park. That's going to help you make a lot of profit just by having one. But what you're going to do is you're going to wait until the rain comes. Okay, so I'm going to speed this up until we actually get some rainy weather here. And what that's going to allow us to do is hike up the price of the umbrellas to ridiculous amounts, and guests will not. They won't complain. So I'm going to start it at $8 an hour. As we can see, some thunderstorm is about to roll in. Okay, so $8, sorry, not $8 an hour, $8 per umbrella. So let's wait for the rain to start, and then you'll see, just watch the information kiosk, look at the money, and then we're gonna well, you can see some guests are already buying umbrellas. So let's hike up the price even more here. And just watch that money. It's gonna keep going up. They're happy to pay $9, so let's keep hiking the price up even more. We're up above $10. They're still paying for the umbrellas. Let's hike it up even more. We're at almost $14, $15 per umbrella, $16, and the guests are still paying the umbrellas. So what you can do is you can actually raise this price all the way up to $20 per umbrella, and the guests are going to pay because they don't want to be in the rain. And now let's look at the profit per hour on this information kiosk. Okay, we're at over $19,000 of profit per hour, and it's going to get up above $21,000 of profit in just a moment here, and that's insane. Okay, that's more than my top paying roller coaster in the park, as we saw earlier. That was more than Hell Train. That was more than the looping roller coaster that we made. So the only problem with this method is that you have to wait for it to start raining. But once it starts raining, then you start rolling in the money. Okay. So that is probably the second best way that you can just make some cash really fast right off the bat, because almost all parks have instant access to an information kiosk. Next tip here is to make sure you put on-ride photos on your roller coasters, and that might seem obvious to you guys, but it helps a ton. This roller coaster would be making me $5 per admission if it wasn't for on-ride photos. On-ride photos, you're able to kind of, it's not a guaranteed buy, right? But on this roller coaster, I had $7,000 or 7,000 guests buy on-ride photos, and it just made me a ton of money. You can see the profit that I made from that. And then this roller coaster here is another roller coaster that I threw an on-ride photo. And you can see I'm charging over $8 for the admission price of this roller coaster, and the profit from the photo is $2. So on this roller coaster, if a guest buys the photo, then I've made over $10 off of that single guest, just because they bought a photo and they paid for the roller coaster. Alright guys, so that's kind of the last big tip as far as making money. I will say you want to retain guests in your park. You need to retain guests in your park later on. Okay, so another tip for that is make sure you are running marketing campaigns. If you don't run marketing campaigns, especially, like I said, later in your park, you're going to lose guests. If you look at my guest count on this park right now, in the top left corner there, as opposed to what it was at the beginning of the video, I've already lost almost 400 guests in this park, and I'm usually just constantly running marketing campaigns. The moment you see a marketing campaign end, just restart it, because you're just going to lose your guests, and there's kind of a cap that they stop coming in, and I don't know what that is exactly, but I think every park has one, especially when they get this huge. So alright guys, I hope that helped you guys out. Let me know if I missed anything in the comments below. What are your tips for making the most amount of money in this game? How do you guys get that money flowing in quickly so that you can get going on your more expensive projects in this game? Again, let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Like the video if you did like it. It helps out my channel a ton to get likes. Subscribe if you haven't already, and share the video if you found it helpful. Thanks everyone. I'll see you in the next video.